of the US midterm elections. Now let's move on. I'm joined in the studio now by Amanda Carpenter. She's assistant editor for the conservative journal Human Events. And Amanda Carpenter, presumably a pretty disappointing night.
It is. You know, there's a lot of conservatives and Republicans both trying to sort through what happened in these elections. And I think, you know, the advice that Republican National Committee Chairman Cal Melman gave last night was that the voters did send us a message, and we would do well to figure out what that message is and rally around the base.
Well, it's rejecting the message that you've been offering the American people, isn't it?
I disagree. I think there's a lot of conservatives that are really disappointed in what Bush did with immigration recently. There's Medicare prescription drug that really didn't go to conservative values. We have a spending problem. Right now in the exit polls, we see that corruption and spending had a big influence in this vote, which I think is valid and should be a call for them to get back to the values that they campaigned on in 1994.
I always find it surprising when people who have lost an election say, actually, and when the voters seem to have gone for a more centrist set of policies, when you then say, well, actually, we weren't right-wing enough.
That's true, but if you look and see what some of the Democrats that are winning these House seats, they actually ran out a very conservative agenda, like Heath Shuler in North Carolina. He's pro-life, pro-gun, and the way that he presented himself, even as somewhat of a hawk in Iraq, he's going more to the center as well, but you know, there was not a good GOP turnout because there's a lot of people disappointed in the policies that Bush has been pushing.
So what does George Bush do now? Does he move to the centre, or does he, because he can't say, I'm going to move, you know, I'm going to go back to the core values now. That's impossible because the Democrats are going to block him.
Right, and that's the concern right now that I was hearing at the parties last night and this morning in the office is that, you know, will George Bush go more to the center in order to pass more of his policies in order to preserve his legacy, which, you know, it's going to be a fight as we go into a gridlock as expected. If we don't retain the Senate, if the Democrats do take the Senate, I think there's going to be a lot more room for compromise that, you know, we got some work to do on our side.
Okay, Amanda Carpenter, I'm very grateful for your time. Thank you very much for being with us here on BBC News. Well, since the year